Here is part one of your script tailored for a mature American audience, written in smooth, natural U.S. English with a calming, reflective tone designed to hold listener attention and foster deep inner peace. Part 1. The Quiet Sanctuary Within and the Art of Letting Go. There is a serene, unchanging place within every human being that remains entirely untouched by the noise, hurry, and endless demands of the outside world. As we travel through the decades of life, gathering experiences, memories, and a few quiet silver hairs along the way, we slowly begin to realize that the frantic race of youth was never the true destination. In our early years, we spend so much energy trying to conquer the world, trying to build, accumulate, prove, and fix. But as the noise of the world begins to settle into the gentle calm of our mature years, a deeper, softer truth emerges from the pages of history and human experience. True wealth is not found in what we hold in our hands, but in the quiet peace we carry within our hearts. The ancient sages and wise observers of human nature understood this simple truth thousands of years ago. They observed that the human mind is very much like a body of water. When the wind of ambition, worry, and constant striving blows over it, the surface becomes rough, distorted, and restless. In that turbulent state, it is impossible to see the bottom or reflect the sky accurately. But when we learn the simple, gentle discipline of stilling the mind, the sediment settles, the water clears, and we discover a depth of peace that was present all along. For many mature adults living in a fast-paced modern world, finding this inner stillness can feel like a distant dream. We are constantly surrounded by news, screens, schedules, and the subtle pressure to keep moving. Yet, the wisdom of the past reminds us that peace is not something we have to travel far to find, nor is it something we must buy or earn. Inner peace is a sanctuary that already exists right inside your own chest. It is available to you in this very hour, in this very room, simply by choosing to take a deep, slow breath and step back from the heavy machinery of thought. One of the foundational lessons of ancient wisdom centers on the delicate art of letting go. Throughout life, we tend to collect invisible luggage. We carry old regrets from decades past, lingering worries about the future, unmet expectations of how our lives should have turned out, and the heavy weight of trying to control things that were never ours to manage. Imagine walking down a long country road carrying a sack filled with heavy stones. At first, the weight seems manageable. But after miles of walking, those same stones become an unbearable burden that bends your back and steals your joy. The ancient teachers asked a simple question that echoes through the centuries. Why do you continue to carry stones that belong to yesterday? The past is a closed book, its pages already written and bound. No amount of worry, regret, or replaying old scenarios in your mind can change a single sentence of what occurred 10, 20, or 50 years ago. Similarly, the future is an unwritten page that has not yet arrived. The only moment where life actually happens, where peace can actually be felt, is right now in the present hour. When you sit quietly on a comfortable porch or in a favorite armchair, watching the gentle light of the late afternoon filter through the trees, you are tasting the sweetness of the present moment. In that quiet hour, there are no past mistakes to fix and no future problems to solve. There is only the gentle rhythm of your breathing, the warmth of the room, and the quiet dignity of your own existence. Wise adults learn to treat the present moment as a sacred sanctuary, guarding it against the intrusion of unnecessary worries and old ghosts. Another timeless insight from the ancient tradition is the understanding that our suffering rarely comes from life events themselves, but rather from our resistance to them. Life is constantly moving, changing, and shifting, much like the changing of the seasons. Spring brings new growth, summer brings abundance, autumn brings the quiet shedding of leaves, and winter offers a period of deep rest and reflection. None of these seasons are permanent, and each holds its own unique beauty and necessity. In human life, we often try to force eternal summer. We want everything to remain stable, comfortable, and predictable. But when unexpected changes arrive, whether in our health, our relationships, our daily routines, or our circumstances, our natural instinct is to fight against the tide. Ancient wisdom teaches us the path of water. Water does not fight the rocks in its path. It simply flows gently around them, accepting the contours of the riverbed while continuing its calm journey toward the sea. When we stop fighting the reality of change and learn to adapt with grace, a profound weight lifts from our shoulders. We begin to realize that aging, slowing down, and handing over certain duties to younger generations is not a loss, but a natural, beautiful transition into a season of reflection and mentorship. It is an invitation to move from the active stage of doing into the rich, fulfilling stage of simply being. Understanding the difference between what we can control and what we must release is perhaps the greatest gift of maturity. We cannot control the weather, the opinions of others, the decisions made by our adult children, or the rapid shifts of modern culture. But we can always control our own response, our own kindness, our own perspective, and the atmosphere we create within our own homes and minds. When you choose to release the urge to fix or judge everything around you, a quiet stillness settles into your heart. As we go deeper into this reflection, take a moment to soften your shoulders, unclench your hands, and let your mind rest. You have walked a long road, survived many storms, and gathered a lifetime of valuable experience. You do not need to prove anything to anyone anymore. You have earned the right to sit in quiet comfort, to cultivate peace, and to enjoy the gentle warmth of an undisturbed soul. As the years roll gently forward, life has a marvelous way of stripping away the unnecessary and leaving us with what is truly essential. In the morning of our lives, we often believe that happiness is something vast, grand, and complex. We seek it in big achievements, public honors, material abundance, and the continuous pursuit of more. Yet, as the afternoon sun of life softens, the ancient wisdom of the world points us in a completely different direction. It reveals that the most profound joy does not live in grand palaces or complex ambitions. It lives in the quiet, simple, and unpretentious moments that surround us every single day. Ancient thinkers across many cultures often spoke about the beauty of a simple life. They observed that the human heart is easily burdened when it becomes cluttered with too many desires, too many possessions, and too many mental distractions. When a house is filled to the ceiling with old boxes and unused items, it becomes difficult to move freely, breathe deeply, or find quiet comfort inside. In the exact same way, when our minds are cluttered with constant noise, endless desires, and the need to keep up with every passing trend, our inner landscape becomes cramped, noisy, and exhausted. True peace begins with the deliberate choice to simplify. This does not mean giving up the comforts of life or turning away from the world. Rather, it means learning to appreciate the immense beauty hidden in ordinary things. It is the simple pleasure of holding a warm mug of tea on a crisp morning, feeling the heat rise against your palms as you look out the window. It is the satisfaction of tending a small garden, watching a bird build a nest in the yard, or listening to the rain fall softly against the roof while you sit wrapped in a comfortable blanket. When you learn to anchor your contentment in these modest, daily blessings, you discover a source of joy that no market crash, political noise, or cultural shift can ever steal from you. You realize that you already possess everything you need to be happy in this very moment. The constant, tiring need to look for something better or something more simply dissolves, leaving behind a deep, steady calm that fills your heart with gratitude. Another core pillar of ancient wisdom is the practice of protecting the mind's quiet stillness from unnecessary agitation. In our modern age, information flows like an overwhelming river that never stops moving. From the moment we wake up to the moment we close our eyes, we are invited to react to bad news, participate in arguments, worry about global events, and absorb the anxieties of people hundreds or thousands of miles away. While it is natural to care about the world, wise adults understand that the human soul was never designed to carry the emotional weight of the entire planet every single hour of the day. The ancient teachers encouraged people to guard the doors of their perception with great care. Just as you would not leave the front door of your home wide open to let in cold wind, mud, and unwelcome intruders, you must not leave your mind open to every wave of negativity and distraction that passes by. Learning when to turn off the television, when to put away the newspaper, and when to step away from heated discussions is an act of deep self-care and wisdom. It is not an act of ignorance. It is a conscious decision to preserve your energy, your health, and your inner calm so that you can be a source of stability and peace for those around you. In the quiet sanctuary of a simplified life, we also learn the gentle practice of observation without judgment. Throughout our younger years, we are conditioned to constantly evaluate everything and everyone. We quickly label events as good or bad, people as right or wrong, and situations as helpful or harmful. This constant mental habit of judging keeps the mind in a state of subtle tension, always defending one position or attacking another. Ancient wisdom offers us a more peaceful way of living, the path of the quiet observer. Imagine standing on a bridge over a clear, flowing stream, watching leaves float by beneath you. Some leaves are bright red, some are green, and some are brown and weathered. As you watch them pass, you do not jump into the water to rescue one leaf or push another away. You simply stand on the bridge, letting the stream carry them along on its natural course. When you practice viewing thoughts, events, and the behaviors of others from the perspective of that quiet observer on the bridge, a wonderful freedom occurs. You no longer feel compelled to react to every word spoken in your presence. You no longer burn your vitality arguing over minor details or trying to correct everyone around you. You allow the world to be as it is, while you remain grounded, centered, and undisturbed in your own quiet dignity. This gentle detachment is not coldness or indifference. It is the highest form of mature love and understanding. It accepts that every person is walking their own path, fighting their own hidden battles, and learning their own lessons at their own speed. By offering others the freedom to be themselves without demanding that they conform to your expectations, you release them from your judgment, and more importantly, you release yourself from the heavy burden of trying to manage their lives. As we move deeper into this journey of reflection, take a deep, soothing breath and feel the peaceful weight of your own presence. Notice how quiet the room becomes when you simply give yourself permission to be still. There is nowhere you need to hurry to, nothing you need to accomplish in this moment, and no problem you need to solve. You are here, whole and safe, resting in the timeless wisdom of a quiet heart. As we travel further along the path of inner peace, we inevitably encounter one of the most transformative practices known to human history, the art of forgiveness. In every long life, there are bound to be moments of disappointment, betrayal, harsh words, and deep personal wounds. We may carry scars left by old friends who turned away, family members who misunderstood us, or past employers who treated us unfairly. For many people, these old painful memories sit silently in the background of daily life, acting like subtle embers that occasionally flare up into anger, bitterness, or grief. Ancient wisdom teaches us that holding on to old grievances is one of the heaviest burdens a human soul can carry. Resentment is often compared to carrying a glowing hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. In the end, you are the one whose hands are burned. What mature adults come to realize through decades of reflection is that forgiveness is rarely about the person who caused the harm. It is not an act of pardoning bad behavior, nor does it require you to restore a toxic relationship or pretend that the pain never occurred. Forgiveness, in its purest sense, is a quiet gift you give entirely to yourself. It is the conscious decision to unhook your heart from past events that cannot be changed. It is saying to yourself, and quote, "I choose my inner peace today over my right to remain angry about yesterday." End quote. When you release the demand for a better past, a profound healing energy begins to circulate through your body and mind. The tension in your shoulders softens, the tight knot in your chest relaxes, and space opens up for joy, warmth, and tranquility to return to your daily life. Part of this forgiving mindset also involves extending grace to ourselves. Many of us are far harsher judges of our own past choices than we are of anyone else and oppose. We look back at decisions we made decades ago with the wisdom we possess today, forgetting that back then, we were doing the best we could with the emotional tools, maturity, and understanding we had at the time. Ancient teachers remind us that self-compassion is the true foundation of inner peace. Loving yourself means treating your own soul with the same gentle patience, warm understanding, and forgiveness that you would offer to a dear friend sitting across from you at the kitchen table. Alongside the practice of forgiveness, Ancient wisdom repeatedly points us back to the natural world as a master teacher of harmony and balance. Throughout human history, elders have observed that taking time to connect with nature is one of the most effective ways to restore peace to a troubled or restless mind. Nature never hurries, yet everything gets accomplished. The trees do not compare their height to the pines beside them. The flowers bloom without demanding applause, and the rivers flow around obstacles without complaint or hesitation. When you take a quiet walk down a tree-lined street, sit under the shade of an old oak in a local park, or simply tend to a small flower box on your porch, you are stepping back into the timeless rhythm of the earth. The gentle sound of breeze rustling through leaves, the warmth of the afternoon sun on your skin, and the steady song of wild birds carry a natural healing frequency that slows down a racing heartbeat and quietens a busy mind. Nature constantly reminds us of the power of steady resilience. An old tree that has stood through 50 winters may show a few broken branches, thick weathered bark, and bent limbs, but its roots run deep into the soil, keeping it firmly anchored through every storm. In the exact same way, a mature adult who has weathered life and Apos' winter seasons carries a quiet, rooted strength that cannot be easily shaken by small daily troubles. You have survived difficult seasons before, and you possess the deep inner roots necessary to stand firm through whatever comes next. Another vital lesson from nature is the concept of harmony through acceptance. Nature accepts every weather condition as part of the total cycle of life. It does not curse the rain, nor does it demand endless sunshine. It receives the dark clouds, the cool rains, the bright sun, and the quiet snow with equal stillness, knowing that each element plays a necessary role in sustaining life and growth. When we adopt this perspective in our own lives, we stop dividing our days into good days and bad days based on minor inconveniences. A rainy, quiet afternoon becomes an opportunity to read, rest, or reflect. A difficult conversation becomes a chance to practice patience and deep listening. A slow, quiet day without plans becomes a sacred gift of rest for the body. By receiving each day exactly as it arrives, without resistance or complaint, you step out of conflict and into a state of continuous, unbroken harmony. As we pause at the end of this third reflection, let yourself rest in this feeling of natural harmony. Feel the solid earth beneath you supporting your weight effortlessly. Remember that you do not have to carry the whole world on your shoulders today. You are allowed to rest, to forgive, to breathe deeply, and to let nature and Apos' quiet rhythm wash away every lingering trace of worry from your heart. As our journey into ancient wisdom deepens, we arrive at a powerful truth that has sustained human hearts across every culture and century. True inner peace cannot exist without the quiet presence of gratitude. In a modern society designed to constantly point out what we lack, what we have lost, or what we still need to achieve, practicing gratitude is a quiet act of emotional freedom. It turns our gaze away from empty space and directs it toward the abundant blessings that already fill our daily lives. The ancient teachers observed that the human mind has a natural tendency to focus on broken things while taking whole, functioning things for granted. We tend to spend hours worrying about a minor ache or pain, yet forget to appreciate the countless organs, muscles, and bones that continue to serve us faithfully every second of the day. We brood over a single crossword spoken by a neighbor, yet overlook dozens of quiet acts of kindness extended to us by friends, family, and strangers. Gratitude is the simple, intentional practice of shifting your attention. It does not require you to pretend that life is perfect or that hardship does not exist. Rather, it is the mature choice to acknowledge that alongside life and Apos' difficulties sits a continuous, flowing stream of good things. It is noticing the rich flavor of your morning coffee, the comfortable cushions supporting your back, the safety of your home, the bright smile of a grandchild, or the simple gift of waking up to see the morning sun rise once again over the horizon. When you begin to view your day through the lens of quiet appreciation, a subtle transformation occurs inside your mind. The habit of complaining dissolves, replaced by a deep, steady feeling of abundance. You realize that wealth has very little to do with the size of your bank account or the luxury of your surroundings. A person living in a modest cottage, surrounded by love, quiet health, and a thankful heart, lives a far richer life than a billionaire surrounded by endless anxiety, suspicion, and greed. Alongside gratitude, ancient tradition places immense value on the restorative power of silence. In our modern world, silence has become surprisingly rare. We are accustomed to filling every quiet gap with television chatter, radio noise, telephone conversations, or digital entertainment. Many people have become so used to background noise that true silence feels strange, uncomfortable, or even lonely. Yet, ancient wisdom reminds us that silence is not an empty void. It is a sacred space filled with healing and deep reflection. Silence is the mirror of the soul. When you sit in a truly quiet room, away from screens, devices, and human chatter, the settled dust of daily life slowly drops away. In that quiet stillness, you begin to hear the subtle voice of your own inner wisdom, the gentle guidance that is constantly drowned out by the noise of the world. Practicing a few minutes of intentional silence each day is like taking your soul to a quiet mountain stream for a refreshing wash. You do not need a complex technique or special training. You simply sit comfortably, close your eyes or soften your gaze, and allow yourself to exist without needing to listen to music, watch news, or formulate opinions. You let the world run its busy race outside your door while you remain safe, quiet, and rested within your own peaceful sanctuary. In these quiet moments of silence, we also learn the profound wisdom of guarding our speech. The ancient proverbs repeatedly warn against the danger of careless, unnecessary words. So much of the friction, misunderstanding, and emotional fatigue in human relationships comes from speaking too quickly, defending ourselves too aggressively, or offering opinions that were never requested. Wise adults learn the peaceful art of speaking less and listening more. They understand that every thought does not need to be voiced, every argument does not require a response, and every difference of opinion does not need to be debated. Before speaking, they quietly ask themselves three simple questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If a thought fails these simple tests, they allow it to meld away into silence without ever giving it voice. By choosing silence over unnecessary words, you preserve your energy and create an atmosphere of calm wherever you go. People naturally feel safe and comfortable in the presence of a person who listens deeply without interrupting or judging. Your very presence becomes a comforting shade tree where others can rest their tired minds and find a moment of peace. As we move toward the final chapter of our reflection, take a moment to rest in this quiet space. Listen to the gentle stillness that exists right here, beneath the surface of all sound. Feel the quiet gratitude rising in your heart for the simple, beautiful gift of life itself. You are safe, you are grounded, and you are surrounded by the timeless peace of a quiet spirit. As we arrive at the final chapter of our reflection on ancient wisdom and inner peace, we come to understand that serenity is not a distant destination we reach at the end of a long journey. It is a way of traveling. It is the quiet art of walking through this life with an open heart, a calm mind, and a gentle spirit, no matter what weather arrives on the road ahead. Throughout our lives, we often look outward for peace, waiting for our circumstances to become perfect before we allow ourselves to rest. We tell ourselves that we will be at peace when our health is completely restored, when our family members solve all their problems, when our finances are perfectly secure, or when the world around us becomes quiet and harmonious. But ancient wisdom offers us a liberating truth. If you wait for the world outside to become calm before you find peace, you will wait forever. The true secret of lasting serenity is building an inner sanctuary so strong, so grounded, and so deeply rooted in gratitude and acceptance that the storms of the outside world can never knock it down. You become like a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore. The waves may crash against the base, the dark ocean winds may howl, and the dark clouds may gather above. But the light inside the tower shines steady, clear, and unbroken through every watch of the night. Living in lasting peace means learning to view your mature years not as a decline, but as a sacred harvest time of the soul. All the lessons you have learned through hard work, the resilience you forged through difficult times, the love you poured into your home, and the forgiveness you extended to others have accumulated into a rich reservoir of inner wisdom. You possess a unique depth of character that only time, life experience, and quiet reflection can build. In this golden season of life, your greatest gift to your family, your community, and the world is simply your peaceful presence. In a world full of anxiety, rush, and constant noise, a person who carries a quiet, undisturbed spirit is a rare and precious blessing. Your calm voice, your patient listening, your warm smile, and your refusal to be dragged into unnecessary conflict bring comfort to everyone who enters your home. You become a steady harbor where tired souls can anchor and find rest. As you move forward through your days, remember to keep your life simple, quiet, and grounded in the present hour. Wake up each morning with a quiet prayer of thanksgiving for the gift of a new day. Drink your morning tea with full awareness, feeling the warmth in your hands and savoring every sip. Spend time in the gentle presence of nature, watching the birds, tending your garden, or sitting beneath the open sky. Protect your mind from unnecessary drama, guard your speech with kindness, and practice the daily art of releasing old burdens into the hands of time. Whenever you feel a wave of worry, regret, or impatience trying to disturb your peace, remember the simple wisdom of the ancient path. Take a deep, slow breath, soften your shoulders, and bring your mind back to this very moment. Remind yourself that right now, in this quiet second, you are safe, you are loved, and all is well. May you walk forward into every new season with a light heart and a rested spirit. May your home be filled with warmth, simple comfort, and quiet laughter. And may the timeless peace of an ancient, wise heart be with you today, tomorrow, and for all the peaceful days that lie ahead.